Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A special thank you to Speaker Boehner for realizing the urgency of this bill. We just got this information, and I went to the Speaker, and he redlined the bill and brought it to the floor. So I'm proud to have my Florida colleagues here with me, a legend in her own time, Representative Ileana Ros-Lehtinen, and Mr. Cabello, who is new and has really jumped into Congress and has been so helpful in all that we do. It's a pleasure to be the time being managed by Andre Carson, who himself is a police officer and who understands who we consider a role model in that field. So thank you so much for being here today for this important bill. I rise today to urge my colleagues to support H.R. 1092, which proposes to designate the federal building located at 2030 Southwest 145th Avenue in Miramar, Florida, in the heart of my district, as the Benjamin P. Grogan and Jerry L. Dove Federal Building. This new 475,000 square foot facility is a state-of-the-art office building and is developed in accordance with the 23rd Zero Environmental Footprint, according to the architects. This facility is a part of the GSA's Design Excellence Program, and in the words of the architect, it expresses the dignity, enterprise, and stability of the United States government while the landscape restores the native environment by reintroducing wetlands and vegetation typical of the Everglades. The facility is LEED certified and is designed to reduce the consumption of portable water by 95%. There are also solar panels on the roof of the annex and garage that will provide renewable electricity. The building will be high-tech and be able to support over 1,000 employees. There are a few major points that I want to mention about the building. First, the building is aesthetically gorgeous and far from what you would consider your typical government building. It sheds the model that the government buildings always place function over form. The building stands up from the neighboring buildings so much that most people don't know that it is the new FBI's field office. Also, the construction cost was approximately $8 million below the budgeted amount, and this was achieved through the operational efficiency of the contractor Hansel Phelps, the FBI, and GSA. The project provided a boost to the local economy by creating hundreds of jobs for the residents of my community. And the employees will be able to give back to the economy, which is so great, by spending money in the city of Miramar. Now, Mr. Speaker, we have an opportunity to create an even stronger personal connection with the local community. We're naming the building in honor of Special Agents Benjamin P. Grogan and Jerry L. Dove, members of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, who died valiantly on Friday, April 11, 1986, in what is still considered the bloodiest gun battle in the storied history of the FBI. Most men and women in law enforcement leave their homes for work knowing that there is a possibility that they may not return. But I don't know if that was on the minds of Agents Grogan and Dove as they left their homes on April 11, 1986. I do know that it was an unusually cool and breezy spring morning in South Florida. I do know that Miami in the 1980s was plagued by crime and graphic violence. This period has been chronicled in media reports and dramatically portrayed on the TV show Miami Vice and in movies like Scarface. And I know that Agents Grogan and Dove knew about this violence when they said goodbye to their families, picked up their badges and their guns, and left home on the morning of April 11, 1986. Yet, they still answered the charge to protect their community in the face of this danger. I know that Agent Grogan was a company man. I know that he had 25 years of dedicated service to the Bureau and was 1 year from retirement. His wife was also an employee of the Bureau. I know that Agent Dove had only 4 years of service in the Bureau after completing law school, but he was living his boyhood dream, according to his family. I have their photos displayed here so that you can see the men we are proposing to honor. I wanted to have their pictures so that you can see the bravery in their eyes. I know that their bravery was the motivation for their joining a team of fellow agents on the morning of April 11th, 1986, to tail a vehicle with 2 suspects on board that they thought was connected to a string of violent bank robberies. The agents attempted to hail the driver of the vehicle to pull over, and when that failed, the agents strategically cornered the vehicle, which came to a crashing halt by hitting a tree. A gun battle immediately ensued. There was a barrage of bullets. I can only imagine how the crackle from the guns cut through the normally peaceful morning of that South Dade neighborhood. Yet, our brave men of the Federal Bureau of Investigation returned fire. Their fire hit the suspects several times, but unfortunately, those weapons were not powerful enough to stop them. On the other hand, the weapons that were used by the suspects were so powerful that the agents were injured by misses that tore pieces of metal from their vehicles. However, those agents continued to battle on. Those agents knew that this could be that day for which they prayed to avoid as they said goodbye to their loved ones and left their homes, but they still battled on. I can only imagine the frustration of Special Agents Richard Manussi, Gordon McNeil, Edmundo Morales, Gilbert Orancho, John Hanlon, Ronald Risner, and Grogan and Dove as they shot dozens of bullets into the suspect's direction, and the high-powered rifle continued to return fire, but they still battled on. In a desperate attempt to flee, the suspects tried to commandeer Grogan and Dove's vehicle. When they came around to the side of the vehicle, Grogan and Dove were on the ground in a defensive position they had taken to battle the suspects. It is reported that the suspects shot both agents with a high-powered rifle at close range. Shortly after, the suspects were themselves fatally shot by Agent Edmundo Morales. Agent Morales made a very impressive statement about his role in that tragic event. He said, "I knew and I felt that I was going to die, but I was going to do my best to make sure that the suspects didn't get away." When the dust cleared, 2 agents lay dead on that spring morning, and 5 were seriously injured. I know one other thing, that if for no other reason we are here in Congress, is to honor, commend, and decorate those Americans who live up to the ideals upon which this great country was founded. Mr. Speaker, I implore you and my colleagues in Congress to join me, the Transportation Committee, and my Florida colleagues and lift up Special Agents Benjamin Grogan and Special Agent Dove. from that street in South Miami and place their names high where the world can know that we're proud of their sacrifice for their nation. It is only fitting that these names should be placed on the same mantle with the letters FBI, because Special Agents Grogan and Dove embody the motto for which the agency has become known: fidelity, bravery, and integrity. God bless the FBI, and God bless America. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back the balance of my time.